Hi, I'm Sarah with the Volusia County Public Library System, coming to you from the Ormond Beach Regional Library. And on this episode of Volusia Gets Crafty, we're going to continue on with part 2 of our crochet tea light holder. Now to recap what you need a 250 milliliter or an 8 ounce wide mouth mason jar. We're going to need cotton yarn in your choice of color and a smaller sized crochet hook at 3.75 millimeter. Once again, you can look in the description box below to see where to get a free copy of that pattern so you can follow along with me. And as always, I'd like to encourage you to stop by one of our branches to check out our selection of crochet books, or you can visit us online at volusialibrary.org. So whenever you're ready, why don't you grab a hook and some yarn, and let's go get started. Okay, so we're going to continue on today with part 2 of our crochet tea light holder. So we're going to be completing this part here with the neat little shell. So there's V-stitches and shells in our future. So we're going to get ready to do that next. So we're picking up with where we left off. We're going to be starting round 3 of the body. And the instructions say that we want to chain 5. Now the 3 chains counts as a double crochet. And then there's a chain 2 after that. So you'll see how that works into the pattern. But what we're going to do is we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. So the place you slip stitch to already has this double crochet, so you don't include that. So skip the next 2 stitches, and in the third one you're going to put a single crochet. Okay, then we're going to chain 2. We're going to yarn over. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches, and into the next one you're going to put a double crochet, a chain 2, and another double crochet in that same space. So I don't know if you remember from a previous video, that's a V-stitch. See how it looks like a little V? All right, so that's what we're going to do all this way around. We're going to chain 2, we're going to skip 2 stitches and put a single crochet, chain 2, yarn over, we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and into the next one we're going to put a double crochet, chain 2, and a double crochet in that same space. That makes our V-stitch. So chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, single crochet, chain 2, yarn over, skip 2, put a double crochet in the next one, a chain 2, and then another double crochet in that same space. If you like patterns and predictability, crochet is really nice because there's a lot of patterns. So if you can kind of memorize it, you don't often have to even refer to the pattern. So we're going to skip 2, single crochet in the next, chain 2, yarn over, skip 1 and 2, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet in the same space, chain 2, skip 1, 2, single crochet. And now here you can see we're coming back around to the beginning. So this is where we're gonna take advantage of that chain 5 that we started with. So we're going to chain 2, and into that same place that you slip stitch to, we're going to put a double crochet. So yarn over, go into that same place that you slip stitched, and do a double crochet, chain 2, and then you're going to count 3 chains up. So it's kind of hard to see, but there's one really at the base. There's 1, 2, 3. Go into that 3rd chain, or if you need to count back, count back 2 and go into the 3rd one. You're going to slip stitch, and that's created your V to start with. Isn't that kind of neat how that worked out? Okay, so that is the end of round 3 of the body. Now to begin round 4, our instructions say we need to chain up 3. And I'll show you how that works into this will once again be with one of the ending parts that we make. But what we're going to do is put what they call a double crochet cluster into the next V-stitch. So if you're looking here, here's our single crochet, and here's our V-stitch. So into this space right here is where we're going to be working. Now if you look at the beginning of the pattern, it says a double crochet cluster is created this way. So we're going to yarn over, go into that V-stitch space, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold. Do that again. Pull through 2 and hold it. And one more time. Pull through 2 and hold it. So when you have 4 loops on your hook, you can yarn over and pull through all 4, and then chain 1. So that is a double crochet cluster. We want 3 of those in this V-stitch. So we're going to do it again. Pull through 2 and hold it. Yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold. One more time. When you have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4, and chain 1. And if you need to move these over, remember they're in a space, not in a stitch, so you can do that to give yourself some more room. So we're going to do one more cluster. So holding your last strand, only pulling through the first 2. Pull through 2. When 4 are on your hook, yarn over, pull through all of them, and chain 1. So that is what we're going to do all the way around. We'll do that one more time because I think this one is pretty easy to follow, but if you need to keep rewinding to see how to do those clusters, you go for it. But we'll do one more and I'll let you fly for the rest of the round. So yarn over, we're just going to skip over this whole middle part. It's okay, you don't need to worry about that single crochet, he's fine. So yarn over, go into the next V-stitch and pull up a loop, pull through 2 and hold. Pull up a loop, pull through 2, and pull through 2. 4 loops are on your hook, pull through all of them, and chain 1. Don't forget those chain 1s, they're important for our next round, so that you need those separating all of these clusters. So we'll do another cluster, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, 4 loops are on your hook, pull through all 4 and chain 1. I'm going to scooch these over so I've got enough space. You're creating those pretty shells, remember, that we saw in the original? It's kind of neat. Pull through 2, pull through 2 and hold, pull through 2 and hold, and then pull through all 4 and chain 1. So keep doing that into each V-stitch all the way around. 3 clusters, chain 1 separating all of them, and I will meet you back and show you how to end it. Because remember we had that chain 3, that lone chain 3 at the beginning? I'll show you how to end it. So when you get there, kind of be aware of that. Okay, so I'm at the end of our little shell round here. I've done my 2 double crochet clusters into my last V-stitch. But the 3rd cluster I'm going to do a little bit different because remember we had that, it's hard to tell, but remember we had this chain 3 here that we started with and then we went right into our shells. So it's kind of slanting over, but we're going to kind of work in conjunction with that. So we're going to do a modified cluster. So we're going to do pull up a loop and pull through 2, and then yarn over, pull up a loop, pull through 2. We're only going to do it that many times, so you'll have 3 loops on your hook. So it's a partial cluster. We're going to yarn over, pull through the 3 loops, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of our beginning chain 3. So there's 1, 2, and into the top of the 3rd, we're going to slip stitch. So it's like we're bringing that together with that cluster. Let's see if I can get that in there, right? To make it a 3 double crochets, but we just have to do it a little different to connect it with that first chain. So it kind of still looks the same. All right? So we're getting there, guys. We're almost to the end, so we've got a few more rounds left, but these are ones we've already done before. So what we're going to do is repeat rounds 1 and 2 of the body. So remember round 1 was this double crochet row. So what did we do for that? We chained up 4. Okay, so that counted as our double crochet chain 1. We skipped a stitch and then we put another double crochet in the next one. So now we're working into something different though. So the stitch we're going to be skipping is the first cluster. See the 2 loops of that cluster? So in effect, you're going to be going into these spaces, the chain 1 spaces. Remember how I said they were important? That's where we're going to be putting all of the double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, kind of pull those clusters apart, and put your double crochet right in there. Okay, and then remember, chain 1. So yarn over, go in between those clusters into the chain 1 space, put a double crochet, and chain 1. And then you're going to go between these 2 sets, so right here. So even this counts, because remember we chained one after we made the cluster. So we're going to put a double crochet right between those big sets. Chain one, and then repeat it. So go between each of the clusters, put a double crochet, chain one, and then in between the sets of them as well. So continue that all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end. Once again, you'll have 15 double crochets if you did it right. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so I've just completed the double crochet round. I've put my last double crochet between those two sets of the clusters, and I've chained one, and then I'm back at the beginning where I had my beginning chain 4. So I want to find the third chain from the bottom, and that's where I'm going to slip stitch to. And then the extra chain is considered the chain 1 in between them. All right, then we're going to continue on by repeating round 2. And if you remember that of the body, we just put a single crochet in the tops of each double crochet and also into the chain 1 spaces. So we go into that same place that you slip stitched to and put a single crochet, and then put a single crochet into the chain space, and then a single crochet in the top of the double crochet, and into the chain space, and into the double crochet, and into the space. So just continue that all the way around. You'll have 30 single crochets by the time you go all the way around, and I'll meet you back at the end. All right, so I've just put my last single crochet in the last chain space. I'm going to slip stitch to the first single crochet I made. So there we've just repeated rounds 1 and 2, which was considered our 5th and 6th row of this body. So for the 7th round, you guys, you're gonna faint when I tell you this. You just have to do the same thing over again. You got to put a single crochet into each single crochet. So go into the same place you single crochet, put another single crochet, and into each stitch around, a single crochet. So you'll have 30 once again by the time you get to this round, and then that will complete out the project. And I'll meet you back at the end, and we will put it into our mason jar, and we will put a tea light in it, and hopefully I'll be able to insert some video of it lit up in the dark. We're going to see how it goes. If it doesn't, you might not see it, but we'll give it a try. So I'll meet you back at the end of this round. Okay, so I've just completed the 7th round of the body, our final round for this mason jar tea light holder. I've slip stitched to the first single crochet I made, and I wove my end into the inside. Because it's just a decorative thing, you guys, you don't have to be worried about going back and forth many times. Just once is fine, you can trim it. So I'm going to pull in my mason jar, and it's going to be a tight fit because we don't want it to be so loose that it falls down the mason jar. So you just kind of have to muscle it a little bit and give it a pull. I like to try and get the base down to the base of the mason jar first, like that. And then you can turn it and just kind of work it over the lip at the top of the mason jar to stretch it out. Now the cotton yarn is good to use because it can withstand any heat. So if you put a real tea light inside, it can hold that and you don't have to worry about it. Or you can use, I've got a LED tea light that you can put inside. You could use this for other things too if you want to use it as a tea light holder. The pattern does have directions on how to do this with a larger sized mason jar should you not have this particular size. It lists one for a 500 milliliter standard mouth mason jar and also one for a 1 liter standard mouth mason jar. So you would basically just repeat the V-stitch row and the shell row more times to make up for the height. And I believe that they kind of come in a little bit more at the top, as I recall from the instructions. So that is how you crochet our tea light holder in the 8 ounce, they call it a 250 milliliter wide mouth mason jar. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can check out more videos like this on Volusia Library's YouTube channel. And I want to thank you for joining me today. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.